What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and I just finished watching the Xbox Developer Direct. This was a special live stream that they've been hyping up now for a couple weeks, which essentially was supposed to be a deep dive of 4 specific games. They kept saying it was going to be about Elder Scrolls Online, Redfall, Forza Motorsport, and of course a bunch of stuff about Minecraft Legends. Now going into this, I was excited, but I was sort of just curious to see a lot of gameplay and hopefully some release dates. Well, we did get that, but they also showed up with a 5th surprise game, which has completely melted my brain. I mean, they showed a completely new game called Hi-Fi Rush, which is basically Jet Set Radio Future 2, and I am still just trying to put my eyeballs back into my head. But let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of this 45-minute press conference that just finished off. Now, first and foremost, I do want to talk about Forza. They showed off a lot of gameplay for each of these different games, but Forza was definitely the most visually appealing, of course. Racing games are always very big and flashy. They are apparently claiming that this is going to be the most hyper-realistic visuals of all time. It's going to be 4K, 60 FPS ray tracing. They were saying stuff that seemed downright impossible, like they've created new simulations for how light hits specific colors, so that if your car is matte black versus pearlescent black, it will actually look completely different to the digital lens of the game itself. They're also claiming it's going to have freaking 500 cars at launch, 20 different environments, realistic physics down to the individual flecks of mud that will cake onto your car. I think Forza looks very, very spectacular, but this is also the only game that did not get a release date, which to me is a bit of a red flag. I'm kind of curious why we didn't get a release date when it seems like the game is very much going well, at least from the outside. I have been craving a new racing game, so hopefully this actually delivers, because while they didn't talk much about how the racing is going to work, it looks pretty spectacular. Now after this, they talked a lot about Minecraft Legends, and I'll be completely frank, I do not care about this game. It's apparently going to be an action strategy game where you explore the maps, you build units, you craft upgrades, and try and defeat enemy bases. Or seemingly you can play by yourself and go against like NPC enemy bases. There's also the ability to play at co-op. There's going to be matchmaking. I mean, I guess maybe I'm a bit of a boomer, but I just don't care much for Minecraft in general, so the idea of taking Minecraft and combining it with StarCraft does not exactly stir up a ton of curiosity. I mean, if this game turns out to be 10 out of 10 fantastic, I may download it and check it out because I've already got Game Pass, so why the heck not? But, I mean, this entire demonstration, I could not possibly care less. They did say it's coming out on April 18th, so congratulations to the people that are apparently ready for those legends. Next, they showed off the game that I am so freaking ready to play. It comes out literally here in a couple hours. It's dropping tonight on Game Pass. I am going to play it. I'm probably going to play it all night and do a review tomorrow just because it looks that fantastic. It is called Hi-Fi Rush. This is the newest secret project by Tango Gameworks, the people that made The Evil Within 1 and The Evil Within 2. Now, overall, I have always been a super fan of Tango Gameworks. I love Shinji Mikami. He invented Resident Evil, so of course I'm going to be curious what his solo studio does. Hi-Fi Rush looks exactly like Jet Set Radio Future. We're playing as this hero that apparently has this magical ability to feel the rhythm of the universe. There's like a big tempo. So they've said that basically the way it's going to play is that In every level and every map, there's going to be rock music playing. And if you dish out your combos and attacks or even skate around to the beat properly, it's going to probably increase your damage and increase your score, which other games have done. Stuff like Metal Hellsinger and stuff. There has been this rise of action music games. They have said it will be playable and beatable even if you have a terrible sense of rhythm, like I definitely do. I mean, this looks so great. They said that it sounds like it's going to be like playing through a freaking soundtrack, going from level to level, environment to environment, and each of it ends with a big dramatic boss fight that you have to go against. Hi-Fi Rush is such a mega surprise. Honestly, I love shadow drops. I think it's cool when they just say, hey, here's a great game you can play right the freak now. And it looks so different than anything we've gotten from Xbox thus far. I think this is one of those weird experimental things that I'm glad a big company like Microsoft is willing to fund, because sometimes these aren't as popular and profitable as they probably intend. Next up, they did what is essentially a commercial for Elder Scrolls Online. Now, I have played Elder Scrolls Online in the past. Not a ton, but I probably put in 100 hours of it. And Elder Scrolls Online, it's fine. It's a competent MMO. They basically were just begging people throughout the course of their 5-minute segment to give the game a shot. They kept being like, oh, it's basically a new Morrowind. It's a new Skyrim. Come battle trolls and dragons and elder gods. And they were talking about the new map that's about to be unleashed. Each year, they release a major expansion that they called Elder Scrolls Chapters. I guess I have no qualms against them trying to market this. Obviously, they have a lot of developers. ZeniMax is a huge company that Xbox paid billions of dollars to acquire. But I don't know. I get real tired of these try our new DLC style segments in any sort of live stream. Elder Scrolls Online, even if it is the best game possible, it just feels like having a World of Warcraft commercial in between clips of Halo and Gears of War. But lastly, they ended off with Redfall. Now, I have noticed some people sort of hating against the idea of Redfall, saying that it looks very bland or very clunky. This gameplay, to me, was a massive W. This is the newest game being done by Arcane, people that did the Dishonored series and honestly made some really big epic maps to sneak around on. In this, we are playing as a team of magical vampire hunters. It's this tiny city in Maine called, obviously, Redfall, and it's been completely overridden by blood-sucking freaks. So now, you and a team of other players online have to try and come together and co-op clear them out. And the gameplay they showed looked so spectacular. To me, Redfall looks incredibly tight. I think the fact that this game has so many different styles of vampire, they showed off and talked about some vampire gods, weird specialty freaks, like apparently there's going to be vampires called the Shroud that can create clouds of darkness to sort of trap you in a little bit of a confusing aura so that their little minions can try and flank and kill you. The fact that there's such a big arsenal. They also showed off the fact that obviously Arcane's biggest speciality is their stealth games. They've pretty much mastered some of the best stealth mechanics in any modern game, period. And it looks like with a lot of these missions, you can choose to go in guns blazing, which I'm probably going to do because I love shotguns. But there is apparently the option to just straight up sneak in, to have silenced pistols and try and pick a couple targets off, or maybe throw out a stun grenade or try and use your magical abilities to stun people. They also showed a bit of the talent trees and stuff where apparently you can unlock new skills or power them up to not just fit your tastes, but also to fit your team balance. If you have a teammate that's dying a lot, maybe you can go into the talent trees to make a special ability to resurrect them easier. There's a lady that can make it where she can super jump. She basically shoves wind up her own ass and flies away. Well, Well, you could apparently upgrade that skill so that everybody near you also gets thrown up in the air. So maybe you could just super jump on top of a building, or maybe just straight up jump over an enemy that's trying to create a shroud around you. This entire freaking Xbox Developer Direct was very entertaining. Redfall is coming out May 2nd, which is just a couple days before my birthday. So of course, I am going to be beating that co-op. I do think that part of this was a bit boring, but it didn't feel like Xbox's fault exactly. I just personally, since I don't care about Minecraft Legends, and I super do not care about stuff like all the technical details sometimes of games like a Forza. I mean, I just don't want to see developers sitting in a chair explaining lighting systems when I really just want to pick up a controller and drift myself. But what did you think about the Xbox Developer Direct? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a big ol' thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. And please keep dreaming. Also, I definitely am going to make a video about Hi-Fi Rush. I mean, that game looks freaking stupid fun. So check that out tomorrow.